Miami on December 31st didn't feel like winter anywhere else in the world. The air was thick with salt and sunscreen, the palm trees on Ocean Drive dripped with multicolored lights, and the bass from the New Year's Eve concert on South Beach thumped so hard it rattled ribs. Fireworks were already testing the sky, little pops of gold and violet, while thousands of people in barely their outfits danced like the world might actually end at midnight. Liam Harrison stood just off the main crush, leaning against a barricade with a Modelo in one hand and his phone in the other. 30 years old, half Jamaican on his mother's side, half Irish on his father's, who left when he was 6, he'd grown into the kind of man that looked expensive without trying. White linen shirt open at the collar, sleeves rolled, Patek Philippe catching the stage lights every time he moved. He'd sold 80% of his fintech company 18 months earlier and never had to work again, but he still took calls at 2 a.m. because winning was addictive. Tonight, though, he was off the clock. His boys from New York were in town, yelling over the music, trying to drag him toward the VIP ropes. That was when someone crashed into him hard enough to slosh half his beer down his shirt. "Shit! Oh my God, I'm so sorry." The voice was husky, Miami Cuban by way of London, and when he turned around, he forgot the beer completely. She was shorter than he expected, maybe 5'5" in heeled sandals, but everything about her demanded space. Sun-bleached dark hair falling in waves, white sundress clinging to curves that clearly never missed a Pilates class. Skin the color of café con leche. Huge gold hoops, red lips, and hazel eyes that were already laughing at herself. "I swear I'm not drunk. Okay, maybe a little drunk, but mostly just clumsy." He laughed, deep and easy. "I've had worse things spilled on me. I'm Liam." "I'm Olivia Valentina Reyes, but if you call me anything but Liv, I'll throw your phone in the ocean." "Noted, Liv." They didn't move apart after that. The crowd pushed them closer instead. She told him she was 28, born in Coral Gables, raised between here and London after her dad's hotel empire took off. Interior designer now, specializing in boutique hotels and over-the-top Brickell condos for crypto millionaires. She'd been back in Miami 2 years and couldn't believe she ever left. He told her about growing up in Harlem with his mom, a retired ER nurse, who now lived on the Upper East Side, and sent him guilt trips via bagels. About building his company out of a WeWork in Wynwood, about the exit that let him buy the penthouse in Panorama Tower with the 270-degree view. "You're that Liam Harrison, the one who turned down SoftBank twice." "Guilty." "Damn, I've used your app to send money to my mom in Havana. Small worlds." The countdown started. The whole beach screamed. At midnight, confetti cannons exploded and fireworks turned the sky into a riot. He looked down at her. She was already looking up at him. "Happy New Year, Liv." "Happy New Year, stranger." He kissed her then, slow, deliberate, tasting rosé and lime and possibility. When they pulled apart, her lipstick was gone, and she was smiling like she'd stolen something precious. "Let me drive you home." Dangerous offer. "I'm feeling dangerous." His matte black Range Rover SVR was parked in a garage on Collins. He opened her door. She slid in, barefoot now, sandals dangling from 2 fingers. The weekend played low as they crawled through South Beach traffic. She lived in a 22nd-floor unit in Brickell Key, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a balcony that caught the sunrise over the bay. He walked her to the door like a teenager. "I'm off tomorrow, completely free. If you want to get coffee or not coffee." "I'll text you at 10, he said. "Don't ghost me."
I don't ghost people who kiss like that. He didn't sleep when he got home, just stood on his balcony watching the city lights flicker across the water and felt something shift inside his chest. 10 a.m. sharp. Liam, still want that coffee? Olivia, only if it comes with you wearing significantly less clothing than last night. They met at Pura Vida on 5th Street. She wore cut-off denim shorts and an oversized button-down that was definitely his from the night before. He didn't remember giving it to her. They split an acai ball in 2 cortaditos, then walked the beach barefoot, talking until the sun burned high. First month was a fever dream. Brunch at Swan every Sunday, bottomless rosé, truffle egg benedict, her stealing fries off his plate. Nights at Komodo, sitting upstairs in the corner booth, her legs across his lap while he traced circles on her thigh under the table. A weekend in his La Morada. He rented a house on the water, taught her to drive the boat, made love on the deck while dolphins swam past at sunset. She FaceTimed her mom in London one morning wearing nothing but his t-shirt. The woman screamed when she saw Liam's face in the background. His own mother was worse. "Ma, I'm bringing someone to New York next month." Silence. Then, "Is she Jewish?" "Ma."
I'm hanging up. No, you're not. Her name is Olivia. She's perfect. You'll love her. You said that about the Instagram model with the fake. This one's different. His mother started crying. Actually crying. I knew Miami would be good for you. March brought Art Basel. They flew in, stayed at the Setai. Liam introduced Olivia as my girlfriend for the first time at a private dinner at the Rubels. She wore backless emerald silk that made every other woman in the room want to go home. His mother took one look, pulled Olivia into a hug so fierce, it almost knocked her over. She's gorgeous, mijo, and she eats. I like her already. They stayed up until 4 a.m. drinking cafecito on the balcony of his mom's apartment, telling stories. His mom showed Olivia baby pictures. Liam with gap teeth and an afro, Liam at his Columbia graduation, Liam holding a sign at his first demo day that said, "We're gonna be billionaires or broke. Either way, we ball." Olivia traced her finger over 8-year-old Liam. "You were always trouble." "Told ya." April. They fought for the first time, stupid, drunk, about nothing either of them could remember the next day. She showed it to his door at 2 a.m. with Publix key lime pie and tears on her cheeks. "I hate sleeping without you," she whispered. He pulled her inside, kissed the salt from her face. "Don't ever do it again." May, the rainy afternoon in June. Hurricane watch, city shut down, power flickering. They stayed in bed all day, ordering Versailles takeout, lechon, yuca, moros, eating it cross-legged on his marble floor while thunder shook the windows. "I want to marry you," he said suddenly, mouth full of port. She froze, with a bite halfway to her lips. "You're proposing while chewing?" He swallowed. "No, I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm going to propose properly, with the ring and everything, just giving you cabecera." She laughed so hard she cried. August. He took her to New York for her birthday. Flew private because he could. 11 Madison Park, front row at Hamilton again, then back to his mom's apartment where his aunts and cousins ambushed them with a surprise engagement party because his mother couldn't wait. He hadn't even bought the ring yet. He did 2 weeks later. Tiffany on 5th, 4.2 carat oval, platinum band, hidden halo because she once says she liked things a little secret. He carried it in his pocket for 17 days, waiting for perfect. Found it on a Thursday night in September. They were at his place. She was painting her toenails on the balcony, wearing his Harvard hoodie and nothing else. City lights glittering below like spilled diamonds. Frank Ocean playing low. They had been married exactly 14 days ago in New York, in a wedding so extravagant it felt like a movie. Guastavino's vaulted ceilings dripped with orchids and crystal. Liam's mother wept through the entire ceremony. And when the rabbi pronounced them husband and wife, Liam dipped Olivia so low, her veils swept the floor while 300 guests roared. But the real wedding began when the plane touched down in Miami. The Setai oceanfront penthouse. The bellman opened the double doors and Olivia actually gasped. Floor-to-ceiling glass, the Atlantic glittering like crushed sapphires, a private infinity pool on the terrace, and a bottle of 2008 Dom Perignon already breathing on ice. Liam came up behind her, hands sliding around her waist, lips brushing the spot just below her ear that made her knees weak. "Welcome home, Mrs. Harrison." But on the third day, everything changed. Liam's phone started buzzing at 7 a.m. New York. Series B extension, Japanese investors, a term sheet that could add another 9 figures to his net worth. He told himself he'd just take one call. One call became 3, then a Zoom, then Slack messages he had to answer or the whole thing falls apart. He was on the terrace, shirtless, in linen pants, pacing, voice low and intense, when Olivia stepped out wearing one of his white dress shirts, only 3 buttons done and nothing else. Her hair was wild from sleep and sex, lips swollen, eyes stormy. "Liam!" He held up one finger. One fucking finger! Something inside her snapped. She walked straight to him, snatched the phone out of his hand, and before he could react, threw it into the ocean. The splash was comically small. Silence. Just waves and the distant hum of the city. "Are you insane?" he asked quietly. "No," she said, voice shaking with fury and hurt. "I'm your wife, not your fucking assistant, not your trophy. Your wife, Liam. We are on our honeymoon." They flew home the next day. But honeymoons don't last forever. Back in Miami, cracks started to show. Olivia, who'd quit her part-time modeling gigs to focus on us, began acting strangely. She'd grill Liam about every late night at the office. "Who was that woman in your meeting? I saw her LinkedIn profile. She's too pretty for a developer." She'd snap, her voice laced with unfounded jealousy. At first, Liam brushed it off. "Babe, it's just business. You know I love you," he'd say, pulling her into a hug. But it escalated. Olivia started meddling in his work, showing up unannounced at his startup's headquarters in the financial district, questioning his decisions in front of his team. "Why are you investing in that crypto nonsense? It's a scam," she'd yell during an investor call he was on from home. His employees exchanged awkward glances, and Liam felt his cheeks burn. He chalked it up to her pregnancy. They'd found out just weeks after the wedding. "Hormones, right? It'll pass," he told his mother Eleanor over brunch at a trendy spot in Nob Hill. Eleanor, a sharp-witted widow who'd built her own real estate empire in the Bay Area, raised an eyebrow. "Be careful, son. I've seen this before. Make sure everything's protected." Liam nodded, but he didn't worry much. After all, from the start, he kept all his assets, stocks, properties, even the startup shares in his mother's name, a precaution from his early days when he'd been burned by a shady business partner. Their son Ethan arrived in a flurry of excitement at UCSF Medical Center. Eleanor was over the moon, cooing over the newborn in the hospital room. "He's perfect, Liam. Look at those eyes, just like yours." But the joy was short-lived. Back home, Olivia was a storm cloud. She complained about everything. The nanny schedule, the organic baby food, even the custom crib from Pottery Barn. "This place is a prison. I need space," she'd rant, pacing the living room with its panoramic views of Alcatraz. And the shopping? Oh, the shopping. Olivia racked up bills on Rodeo Drive deliveries, designer handbags she never used, jewelry that sat in drawers, even a vintage Mustang she couldn't drive because she hated stick shift. Liam tried to talk to her one evening over takeout from his favorite dim sum spot in Chinatown. "Olivia, what's going on? We need to figure this out."
For Ethan's sake. She rolled her eyes, sipping her Chardonnay. Figure what out? You're always working, Liam. Maybe if you paid attention to me instead of your stupid business. The conversation went nowhere. Liam gave up, burying himself in work. His startup was booming, landing a major contract with a Fortune 500 company. Months blurred by until one rainy afternoon in their penthouse. Olivia stormed in, slamming a stack of papers on the marble kitchen island. I'm done, Liam. I'm filing for divorce. Papers are already with the court. Liam stared at her, his coffee mug halfway to his lips. What? Why? We can work this out. Therapy, whatever. No, she spat. Just sign it and pay up. I want half of everything, plus child support for Ethan. Anger flared in his chest. Do what you want, he growled, storming out to his home office. The next blow came via certified mail, a letter from Olivia's shark of a lawyer in LA demanding $5 million in alimony and child support, plus custody of Ethan. This is insane, Liam muttered, crumpling the paper. Something didn't add up. Why the rush? Why the greed? He picked up his phone and dialed a discreet contact, a private investigator named Jack Ramirez, an ex-cop from the LAPD who'd helped him vet business partners before. Jack, I need you to dig into my wife, quietly. Find out if there's someone else, Liam said, his voice steady despite the knot in his stomach. Jack chuckled over the line. On it, boss. Give me a week. What Jack uncovered shattered Liam's world. Over coffee at a quiet cafe in Fisherman's Wharf, the PI slid a folder across the table. Your wife's been playing you from the start, Liam. She's got a boyfriend, some sleazy producer from Hollywood named Marcus Hale. They've been together for years. Traced emails and texts. They targeted you after spotting you at that conference. Knew you were loaded. The plan? Marry you, get pregnant. Wait, get this. The kid's not even yours. DNA test from a clinic in Beverly Hills confirms it. Marcus is the father. They figured a quick divorce would net them a fortune.
Life wasn't sweet like before.
Liam's hands
but
shook
it was real,
as he flipped through
and
the
that
photos.
was enough.
Olivia and Marcus at hidden motels in the Hollywood Hills. Surveillance footage of them laughing over champagne. That bitch, he whispered. It hit like a tidal wave. Betrayal, rage, heartbreak. He thought of Ethan, the boy he'd rocked to sleep, changed diapers for. Not his blood, but still. That night, alone in his loft, Olivia had already moved to a hotel. Liam poured himself a stiff bourbon and stared at the city lights. Tears came, but so did resolve. He wouldn't break. The next day, he dove deeper into work, expanding his startup with a new AI ethics division. Board meetings became his therapy, code his escape. The divorce proceedings dragged on in a San Francisco courtroom, but Olivia's demands crumbled like a faulty algorithm. Her lawyer blustered about assets, but Liam's attorney, a no-nonsense woman from a top firm in the Embarcadero, laid it out. Mr. Hartley owns nothing in his name. All properties, investments, and funds are under his mother's trust, established years before the marriage. Prenup? Ironclad. And the paternity test? We'll be filing for fraud. Olivia's face paled in court. This is bullshit, she hissed at her lawyer. In the end, she got zilch. No alimony, no support. Ethan went to a neutral custody arrangement, but with the truth out, Marcus stepped in and Olivia fled back to LA with her tail between her legs. Liam? He thrived. His startup went public, making headlines in the Wall Street Journal. He dated sparingly, focused on being the best uncle to Ethan he could be, and cherished weekends with his mom in her vineyard estate up in Sonoma. As he stood on his balcony one crisp evening, watching the fog roll in, Liam raised a glass. To dodging bullets, he toasted the city. Life wasn't sweet like before, but it was real, and that was enough.